Hello everyone, it's a horribly wet and rainy day outside, but no matter because it's the weekend and I don't have to be anywhere, so I'm going to stay inside and play with some trains. Now I also have a couple of announcements because my YouTube channel hit a bit of a milestone recently. I've just hit 2,000 subscribers. Now in the broader context of YouTube as a sort of global phenomenon, 2,000 subscribers doesn't really seem like very much, but for a tiny little model railway channel like mine, it's an enormous amount. So thank you to all of you who've been watching over the last 4 or 5 years. I started this channel in May 2009 and I've gradually uploaded more stuff. I bought better equipment, I've gotten better at editing, and I've generally put more and more effort into my videos, and you guys have supported me by continuing to watch and support this channel, so thank you again to absolutely all of you. The reason I called my channel Streamlined Trains is because I wanted to use it to look at particularly fantastic examples of industrial design like the Pendolino and the HST and the Dreyfus New York Central Hudson and of course the A4. So I decided that my 2,000 subscriber video would be a special where I look at all of these 3 locomotives and I'd have a little great gathering of my own. Now these aren't the 3 locomotives that Hornby released for the Great Gathering last year, but they are in 3 of the most iconic liveries that the A4 has carried over its long life. So first of all, let's look at the British Rail. This is what they call the British Rail Late Crest livery. Late Crest because it's got a simplified British Railways sign on the back. This is the tender. This is a non-corridor tender. So this is one of the ones that was an earlier design that didn't have this current corridor going over the back, which these other 2 do have. As you can see, it's got fantastic detail, lots of little signs and things marked out. Incidentally, these are all DCC now, and in these A4s, the DCC chip is actually housed inside the tender, which then connects via this little piece of copper here through to the main engine where all of the drive mechanism is. Here's the locomotive itself. This is 60018 Sparrowhawk. Now Hornby has also released recently a DCC sound version of this locomotive in the BR Blue with the late crest. I actually bought that locomotive as a form of payment to my good friend Will over on the IC82 channel because he built a website for me and that was a form of payment that we agreed on. Now the great thing about Hornby's A4s in the last few years is that they've carried fantastically well detailed interiors. As you can see, look at all those little pipes and dials and all manner of things. I don't even know what some of those do since I've never driven a steam train myself, and I don't remember train sim well enough to remember what all of these bits do. But anyway, it's a wonderfully nicely detailed interior, and I really ought to get myself some workmen, some drivers to run the train. Roof detail, we've got lots of opening vents and things on the cab roof, so you can have the engineers getting some fresh air. You've got nicely picked out silver around the glazing here at the back. Very nice locomotive name. And one of the other things that distinguishes the BR A4s is that they carried their number on the front here at the top, and also on the A4s they removed the valance along the side. I happen to quite like the way these look because actually I like seeing all of the linkages at work. But British Rail did it so that they were able to access these things more easily, because as nice as the streamlining looked, it did make maintaining these things a bit of a nightmare. Now Silverlink is going to be difficult to have a look at because Hornby actually connects these. The way they now make them, which is an enormous design improvement, is by having a little plug that you connect between the locomotive and the tender, which improves connectivity by an enormous amount. This is a corridor tender, so you can see we've got a corridor gangway at the back and a little porthole there. Another very, very nicely detailed cab interior. Lettering picked out in silver with a blue background. Now the first 4 A4s all carried their name in the middle of the boiler here. Silver Link, Silver Fox, Silver King, I think was one of them, and Quicksilver were the 4. They were the first 4 A4s. After which there was a whole ton more built. You'll have to take my word on this, but the builder's plate just under the cab there actually does read 1935. Does it? I can't even tell. Ah! Yes, 1935, that makes sense. The other main difference with this locomotive is that it is a single chimney. Now finally, here is the classic A4 in the LNER Garter Blue, which I think is the most attractive scheme, as much as I love these other two. This is also the livery that Mallard carries and Bittern carries currently. This isn't actually either of those locomotives, this is 4483 Kingfisher, which I got with the Flying Scotsman train pack, but it looks very, very similar apart from those details. Another corridor tender, fantastically well embossed, picked out lettering on the tender. Little porthole at the back as well. One of the things that I like about the LNER Garter Blue is that they also picked out the wheels in red, which is just a nice colour contrast between the two colours on this locomotive. Detailed cab interior, very nicely done stripes over the front here. I really like that, it's a very distinctive look. At the very front you can read the number and the class A4. So I do hope you've enjoyed having another look at all my A4s. These are some of my favourite locomotives, which is hence why I have 3 of them. There's going to be some exciting new things coming up. I've got a week of special videos on a different subject coming up in a couple of weeks' time. I've also started a new series called the Spotlight series. The Spotlight series is going to be a series of very short 2 or 3 minute videos which just feature one locomotive or one train at a time and just show running videos. No reviewing, no talking. Very simply done, but hopefully enjoyable, and it will allow me to sort of upload things more regularly and try and keep up and not let the channel just sort of fall by the wayside, which can very easily happen as soon as I get busy. So once again, thank you ever so much for helping me reach 2,000 subscribers, and I hope that you'll continue to watch in the future.